Guys, listen up. Ben, you are with Joe.
Is it even legal?
17 yesterday!
They enjoying it down there?
Yeah, loving it. This is a good job for him. Don't go in tomorrow.
I have to. We're way behind. You heard from the boys?
No, why?
There were 35 miners down in the mine. They don't know exactly what's happened at the moment.
There's been an explosion at the mine.
What happened up there?
When are they going in?
We need to make sure the recovery is safe.
Recovery?
All the men are dead.
We'll bring them home. For whatever it takes, we'll bring them home.
There are 29 families, all wanting the same thing. That the promise made to you is kept, that your men will not be abandoned.
I need my husband. He can't stay there. I need to bury him. I hate driving when it's like this.
You can stay in the bus if you want. I can't stop thinking about him. I can't leave it. It was a workplace death.
Do you want to fight this?
How do you fight a judge?
In the matter now before the court, a decision has been made that this prosecution is not going to proceed.
The mine will be permanently sealed. That's the reality.
No one is going to go in there ever again.
So what are you going to do?
We're going to stop them. This is an occupation. We're not going anywhere. If we know how they died, we know who has to be accountable.
There's nothing up there, Mum, but you can't let go of it.
I want the truth for my son, and I want justice. I would have given up a long time ago if it hadn't been for you.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Pike River, arriving in theaters as well as on digital on January 30th. I'm KUYA P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Joining me to talk all things Pike River, I have director Robert Sarkies,
yeah, close enough.
Awesome. My apologies. I was like, I should have asked before we got rolling. Thank you so much for your time, Rob. Much appreciated. This film, I know you're a New Zealander as well. This is a tragic tale that happened there. How did this come to be? I know that looking at the press notes that you were aware, you lived here, you knew that this had happened, you were familiar with the story, but at first there wasn't much of a story there until you really learned more about and saw how these two women were fighting back and trying to give voice to what mattered. And you found out through a fellow documentary filmmaker that you could meet them. Could you tell me how you decided to give life to this film?
Well, I mean, the Pike River story is a very, very well-known story in New Zealand. It's kind of, if you say Pike River in New Zealand, it's sort of like saying 9/11 in the States. They're very different, but they're, it's on the news constantly. So it's one of those stories. And for a long time, I'd been looking to see if there was a way to tell it, a human way to tell it, right? Rather than just, let's make a B movie about a tragedy. Is there a compelling human story here? And really, I just kind of rang up via a contact, the documentary filmmaker you mentioned. I rang up Sonia and said, look, I'm just interested in exploring a potential movie about your journey, your personal journey. And Sonia invited me on a road trip. And so I flew down to Christchurch and drove with her and Anna across the mountains, which is a journey that's actually depicted in the film, not with me in it, but with just them. And I sat in the back of their station wagon, and it was sort of like there were these Thelma and Louise characters sitting in the front seat. They were just constantly jamming. They were funny. They were connected. They were often quite dirty. They were sort of performing in a way, but they just felt like compelling characters for a film. I could see that immediately. And I could also see that their relationship had empowered both of them. So rather than just a story about a tragedy or just a story about kind of characters who fight for justice, I could very quickly see that this could be a story about an empowering relationship that enabled these two ordinary women to fight for change and, spoiler alert, win, get somewhere, achieve something. And that's quite rare. So it felt like the whole package to me.
Wow. Congratulations. So telling a true story. I do a lot of narrative because I'm afraid of the responsibility of documentary work. I live in the DC area, so a lot of fellow documentarians out there. But then, like your film, you're based on real events. So you meet them, you go on this journey with them, you see the compelling nature of what their story is. Building out this film, I saw that they were involved. I saw that they were on set. I saw that you had many people there, and it looked like a monster undertaking because you had so many people, which is also a very beautiful thing that you had you had a large crew of extras to let them have their voices in there and give this great depiction of the community that came together to help speak out. Can you tell me, having that as an undertaking, getting your screenwriter to pen this tale, to put all these notes in there to like really capture this, and then filming this production and going to some of the same areas that this happened at?
It was it was a pretty crazy journey. I won't lie. It's you take on a big responsibility when you're taking on a story like this about real people, especially when the real people are involved, because you've got to, they're going to phone you up if they don't like it. You're going to meet them on the streets of Greymouth, and they're going to tell you what they think. So you take on that responsibility, but you know what? It wasn't a heavy responsibility. It was, which is surprising because there's a heaviness to the story. There's a tragic aspect to it, but these families they're just so alive, They're and they, for them, and particularly Sonia and Anna, the process of making the film or seeing the film being made in front of them, they were often on set with us, was a joyous experience, a validating experience. They loved every minute of it. They loved meeting the actors and spending time with them. They loved just hanging out with the crew, and they've had also the experience, because the film released in New Zealand in October, they've had the experience of going to, we had 20 Q&A screenings throughout the country, which is a lot. It's a small country. And all of them were packed out, and all of them ended with a standing ovation for Sonia and Anna when they came to the front of the stage. So it's just been so, despite the nature of the story, the heavy nature of the story, actually the experience of making it, because these families were involved, has been genuinely joyful, enriching. It's it certainly felt like it's a bigger experience. I've made other films, of course, and it's a bigger experience than just making a film, because you have a responsibility to the people involved. But boy, is that satisfying.
I agree. On the acting forefront, so you had these real life people that were portraying. They got to meet everyone, as you said, casting it, giving them life, choosing them, and maybe even the interaction between them, getting to meet the people that they're depicting on the screen. Those interactions, maybe notes passing back and forth. Can you tell me about building out this beautiful and amazing cast that really gave life to your story?
Yeah, well, I didn't. With the casting, the important thing for me was to capture the spirit of each of these people, both the leads and also the community that's represented in the film. But actually, we usually were able to capture both the spirit and a very close physical resemblance, including as an American, you won't know what our ex-Prime Minister John Key looked like, but our depiction of John Key makes people double take in New Zealand. It's like, whoa, did you get the real John Key? Oh, and did you notice that we had the real Jacinda Ardern, who was she was the one person who was real in the film. She makes an appearance, the ex-Prime Minister who now lives in the States. The casting process was one where we just tried to, you just try to get it right and get people in the film who don't feel like they need to act, even though most of them are actors. But I just wanted the film to feel, I guess, experiential, to take us into the experience of these families as truthfully but also intensely as possible. And because the story itself is inherently dramatic, it's a big story, I didn't think that the performances needed to be pushed. So they're not. They're quite naturalistic performances, which is not to say they're not compelling. I think they're really compelling because of that. But that did mean that the casting was super important, because there's only so much a director can do on set. I ideally don't like to direct too much, because if you've done your job right before you get to set, you don't have to say a lot once you get on set. You just move things around and subtly shift things when you feel that they're slightly off. One of the things that we did was we had a real sense of responsibility towards the 29 men. And you'll see the 29 men in the film. They appear only really in the first 10 minutes because the mine blows up quite quickly in the narrative. And they're basically background actors, most of them, who we cast in Greymouth. And we very carefully cast every single one of those 29 to be as close a physical resemblance as we could get to the real person, because we knew that while we were telling the story of Pike River, we were focusing on Sonia Rockhouse and Anna Osborne, these two women who were at the centre of the campaign for justice, but we wanted to represent all of the 29 men. And so, even in our background cast, we worked hard to get those faces right.
Amazing. I love that. Telling the story, sometimes stuff has to get cut due to time, and we find our film in editing, filmmaker to filmmaker, right? Was there anything that you weren't able to get in there, or was there anything that had to go back to kind of flesh out a little bit? Or you would have loved to have included maybe in the telling of this story of justice that these women were seeking, that you were really excited to film and get out there during this process?
You make your choices. You do a lot of, as a filmmaker, telling a real story. You've got to filter that story. We weren't making things up. We were usually just making decisions on what to lose or where to compress time in order to make it a compelling narrative. So yeah, sure. There's lots of things that we could have included that made the choice to not to. Possibly one of the things that I find most shocking about the story we didn't include, and I had good reasons for not including it, but it's a detail that I'll tell you that I found really shocking. Anna Osborne, played by Melanie Lynskey, her husband owned a little business that was helping to construct the mine, and he put in invoices every month to the mine company, and it just so happened that the mine blew on the 19th of November, and invoices are supposed to be paid in New Zealand on the 20th of the month. And on the day the mine blew, really one of the first decisions made by the company executive was to halt the payment of all invoices to contractors, right? So Anna's husband was not only killed in the mine, and so were two of his workers, but he's never been paid for the month of work before it blew.
Wow.
I think that's utterly shocking.
Yeah.
Now, that's a detail I would have loved to include. I didn't include it because to do that in the narrative would have showed too early how bad this company was, and I wanted that to be a gradual reveal. So, you make your choices, but I think that detail says a lot about, actually it says a lot about the industrial world that we live in and how utterly immoral it can be. Their first priority was to not pay invoices. Their first priority should have been to care for the people who'd been killed and their families.
Oh, it's I live in the States, as you know, and I live in the DC area. There's a lot of things I'm angry with our government at the moment, and like things like this just remind me just how we need to fight back again. Which I love is the messaging of this movie, that the powerless can be powerful, to speak up and rise up and help inform. What was it like when you wrapped and you got that final edit, showing it to Sonia and Anna for the first time?
Well, that was amazing. I'm doing this from home here, and we invited them, to my house and played it to them on a big screen, in the other room there, and they sat in two comfy armchairs to watch their film for the first time, and myself and the producer sat behind them. So I was watching them in silhouette with a big screen, in front of them, and they were unconsciously mirroring what was going on the screen. When Sonia kind of reaches out for the hand of Anna in one scene of the film, the same thing was happening in silhouette with the two characters. They didn't realize they were doing it. They were just so in it. And at the end of the screening, they just sat there in silence, and they were really stunned. Stunned. I think they were stunned by the film, but they were really stunned by the experience of really seeing their own life, or the most intense part of their life, played back. I mean, how crazy is that? I can only imagine what that would be like. And Anna, after about a minute, just quietly said, "I'm just so proud." And I knew from that she had seen what she and Sonia had done for the very first time through the medium of film. I was pretty proud too.
Wow. I would have cried. I'm sorry. I'm an empath. I would have oh my gosh.
I did. I tear up just thinking about it.
Yeah. Wow. So beautiful. So it's already out in New Zealand. It's now going to be available here in the US in theaters and on digital January 30th. What do you hope people take away from, this story that could happen here? Things have happened like this, but just what people learn, and the power of cinema and the power of film to, tell people what happened, to inspire, to, get people angry, just entertain, but we need a, just the power of this medium. What do you hope people take away? I'm sorry, I'm jumbled in my thoughts right now, that once they see Pike River when it premieres on January 30th.
Look, I hope ultimately I hope it inspires others to fight when they see and feel an injustice. That's what it's about, really. Like the power of ordinary people to take on the powerful, and it shows that you can win. It's possible. It's not normal. Normally the powerful win, but the reason why I wanted to make a film about this story is because this was an example where those who were powerless were able to change the narrative. It's a bit of a spoiler alert, but you'll see how in the film, and the story's ongoing. So yeah, if it can inspire people, I'd be very, very happy. And yes, you're right that these sorts of sort of industrial tragedies happen all over the world. We've and this story, in some ways, it's a very different film from it, but it's not unlike, say, an Aaron Brockovich, which is actually about an ordinary person taking on the powerful as well, and it's about a personal journey while also being about a kind of an industrial tragedy. So I think that stories like this are actually universal, and I hope it'll inspire someone. It's certainly inspired a lot of Kiwis. It's been, one of the top films in New Zealand kind of last year when it released. It went straight to number one, and it's right on the top. It's on streaming in New Zealand now, and it's right on the top of the streaming lists on Apple and other mediums. So it's it's certainly inspired this country, and I hope it can have some sort of effect in other countries. It's these two women, they're amazing. They're honestly amazing, and the actors are just sublime.
Definitely. Well, congratulations. And as I said earlier, with like documentary work or films like your project where you're bringing real stories to life, and that responsibility, I think you succeeded. It's just an amazing film, really well done, very inspiring. And I think I actually have one more question. How did it change you? Because I'm an empath. I'm a filmmaker, like I said myself, and we are blessed to do this type of work. But it also changes us. So, meeting these people, how has it informed you? I'd love to hear that, if you don't mind. How has it informed you, and where you're going to go with your next project?
Yeah, it's. I think it's made me. It's made me kind of aware of how the world works a bit more. I tended to be New Zealand, as you probably know, is a pretty safe country. It's known to be a not very corrupt country, or one of the least corrupt countries in the world, politically and in other ways. It's a very fair-minded, sort of egalitarian country. That's its reputation, and that's how I felt about my own country growing up. Getting involved in this story and studying it deeply has shown me that that's all kind of bullshit, if you excuse my French. This is a deeply corrupt story that shows that New Zealand, the powerful in New Zealand, kind of work in particular ways. They're probably not as brash about how they go about things as people might be in the States or other countries. But there are deep unfairnesses in this country, and there are deep injustices in this country, as there are in other countries like America. So it opened my eyes to my own country, and I think that's a good thing. I hope that for New Zealanders, it's opened their eyes as well. Because as soon as you put too much trust in those who are in power, they'll just run off and get away with more. I think it behoves us to be cynical, even when we live in one of the least corrupt countries in the world.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's definitely made me more cynical.
Yeah. I'm glad I asked that question, because I always had that kind of a perception, honestly, about New Zealand. And I'm having different perceptions now of my own country here in the US, but that's a whole nother story. But I think the messaging of this tale is that we can still rise up. The powerless can become one, and we can change things. And again, bravo to you, sir, and this film. Hopefully it will inspire many. I know it will. But I really appreciate your time, Robert, for talking about Pike River and this film. Just really well done, and bravo, sir.
Thank you, and I hope your audience is able to check it out, because it's as I said, I think it's quite a universal tale.
Definitely, everybody. That is director Robert Sarkies with Pike River, arriving in theaters and on digital on January 30th. I'm KUYA P. This is Nerds Rule the World. All right, there's a cut, Rob.
Oh, thanks. I've heard about you too, but I didn't know that nerds rule the world. But that's kind of cool.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah.
Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Awesome. KUYA P, nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
nerds rule the world.
I got. It's in the title of your show, like nerds rule the world. Like I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
And I love what you do, and I love nerds, and you know, I think we're all nerds at heart. But anyway,
thank you, nerds rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julian.
Yes,
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes.
Yes. Nerds do rule the world. I agree.
We do.
I agree.
We're awesome, aren't we?
Thank you, ladies.
so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And nerds really do rule the world.
Thank you, sir. It's your boy KUYA P, nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Do. They rule the world, all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Love you, nerds, dude. Get it.
Well, I was good until I saw that this is Nerds Rule the World. So are we talking about like everybody you interview is a nerd, right?
Oh, it's a legal requirement. It is.
It's a legal requirement.
Yeah.
Or are you, or the second you popped on screen, I was like, wait, are you supposed to be the queen nerd then?
I hope so. My handle is Heather is a nerd, so I am a professional at least.
Okay. But then you enter that whole question of like, well, if you're calling yourself a nerd, are you really a nerd? A true nerd, would they call them? I don't know. I'm going to start going cross-eyed.
Going to psychoanalyze this a little bit.
Yeah.
Nerds do be ruling the world.
Hey, let's go. Swang Who in the building. All right, there's a cut. All right, I'm hitting record. I'm rocking. Thank you again, Cordelia and Sydney. And yeah, I'm recording. Rob, I'm going to do a 3, 2, 1 real quick to help me with my edit because we're going to be coming off of the trailer in my final coverage.
Oh, great. Great.
Awesome. All right, let's have some fun. Let's talk all about this. All right, here we go. In a 1, 2, 3.